allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you do a roll call, please?
Born here.
Good here.
Demelke here.
Mijares here.
Arden Weatherford's in Phoenix and George Jones is traveling. And I do not know where Mr. Cabrera is. Can we, is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I would make one recommendation on the minutes, and this is going to be on page 2. Item 9 under reports, the chair report. As I read that, I see that we have 2 designations for the Martini Hut and the old Voss building. We probably should have one name just for clarification. So we could change Martini Hut to the Voss building, delete that 3 words that says old Voss building. One of the 2 ways.
That'd be fine.
I would so move that we make that correction.
I agree. That's something we need to vote on?
Things I gotta vote, a motion, yeah. Second.
I second it.
Born, yes.
Good, yes.
Demelke, yes.
With that modification, I would then move to approve the March 11th minutes.
Will you just write that in there so that I can sign that, please?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Jerry, can I have you? Yeah, please.
I think this is going to be a very short meeting. Unfinished business? Any? No. Mark, are you willing to give us a TAVA update?
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you. Morning, everybody.
Thank you,
Right
Al.
there in case you need it.
Then we can hand this.
Very official.
Thank you.
So let me give you 2 parts of an update. First is the physical, what you could see out there at the site. We're slowly moving along with our construction. You said a lot of scaffolding out there right now. That's for the elevator shaft and the stairwell that's going on. Once those get completed, then we'll start looking at plumbing, service lines, that sort of thing will start coming into the project as well. So it's great to have this good weather. Hopefully we can get some things moving pretty fast on it. The other part of the update is we are about to complete our preliminary and final plat process. We are hopefully going to be on the agenda for Planning Commission on April 24th, and then final plat approval with the City Council on May 15th. That's the plan. We're working diligently. Aaron and the city staff have been great working with us to get that completed. So that's what's going on.
Mark, are you finding yourselves on schedule, a little behind schedule, ahead of schedule?
We're maybe a little behind the schedule.
Are you guys concerned at all about your opening date?
No, it'll be first quarter of next year now. But that's okay because that actually times well with the spring, and March hopefully is when we'll have a grand opening. But y'all don't hold me to that. Let's just see how things go with construction and weather and all that. That's just us talking.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
Well, Mark, how's the CDOT issue going?
Well, great question. So CDOT, we're almost done with our 2 access permits that we need. We are discussing one component of it, Jerry, that has to do with the intersection there at Park Street and Highway 24. And there's some things that CDOT wants done, and then there's some things that the city is not going to approve. So we're hashing that out as we speak. We're trying to get a meeting set up, hopefully next week or two, to finalize all that.
Cool.
Any other questions?
No, thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Aaron, would you like to talk about the Bergstrom Park?
Yes, absolutely. All right, so earlier this month, earlier in March, we signed the contract with Logan Simpson to start the process of reimagining Bergstrom Park. And we've had 2 site visits, staff and the consulting team so far. And I believe within the next week or 2 at the latest, we will have a joint work session put together with the DDA. We're going to have a representative from the DDA, a representative from Historical Preservation Committee, a representative from Park and Rec Advisory Board, and also a representative from the Chamber as kind of that advisory group. We're going to have that first kickoff stakeholder meeting, and then we'll probably schedule a larger joint work session with all the boards. Probably maybe 2 weeks after that point, but we are moving forward and pretty excited about getting this started.
Is that gonna, is the timeline of that going to get in the way of the Tava construction as far as keeping them going? Is it gonna slow them down?
We don't anticipate that, no. It should go right on top of it, so we're hoping to collaborate together there, so.
Okay,
And then I do know the DDA had pledged to pay for half of the consulting fees, so I will get with the attorneys just to have that drawn up so we can bring it for you all.
do we know what that number is yet?
It's 24,000.
That's our half?
Yes.
Okay. We look forward to seeing that. We look forward to helping.
That's right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Does anybody know how many applications we might have for the microgrant program?
We have 3 submitted applications. We've had 4 other entities reach out for the process. And then we've actually had 2 others that have reached out as well, but kind of just soft inquiries. So far we only have 3 official applications.
So I looked online and I reached out. I'm not a very computer literate person. I swing a hammer for a living. I don't sit at a computer. When you pull it up, you cannot fill it out online. Like you cannot fill it out on the DDA's website. So somebody said I needed to save it and then fill it out, but I'm gonna have to actually get some help to do it. So it wasn't easy for me. I'm not saying it's not easy for others. Did anybody else? Has anybody experienced has anybody said anything about that?
The 3 that filled it out came in and filled it out in person.
But I thought that you guys weren't accepting them in person. I heard that they had to be done online.
We scan it in. So I think the idea was that I think we imagined that most people would want to fill it out by hand.
Okay,
And then they just would email or scan it to us.
Okay.
The whole point was to have that date stamp. But yes, we are working on making it PDF fillable. Yes.
okay, great. So one can just fill it out, print it, fill it out and bring it in.
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you for that information. I really hope we'd get at least 10. I was hoping at least 10.
Well, we've had 10 inquiries, so.
And we have until the 18th, correct? Is
Yes.
that correct?
The 18th at 5 PM.
Okay.
Is it all right to share information about who it is that is actually submitted?
I don't have the names. I only have the number of inquiries.
Can you tell me the owner of the Voss building? Has he?
That was one of the inquiries, but has not filled it out.
Want to call him?
I left him a text and haven't heard back.
All right. Thank you, Aaron, for that information. And I know you guys have worked, I appreciate all the work you guys have done for us on that. I really want to see more. I don't know if I need to go out and shake hands or knock on doors, or I'm actually willing to do that. So,
I mean, it's probably a good idea to just tell people that we know that have businesses
it's been in the
downtown.
paper,
just-
it's been all over the
It
place.
has, but say, this is a really easy thing, for you to jump in and do something for your building. Look at.
So it'd be okay for us to just kind of, use like a Facebook posting or something. I mean, you guys wouldn't be averse to that, would you?
No.
Okay.
on the Woodland Park community page or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And again, I think the feedback I've gotten is people feel that the application is somewhat complicated. I don't get that, specifically, but I think any help we can offer to motivate people and offer assistance is where I'd put the board
Yeah.
to get that action in the community.
I agree.
Anybody else have anything on that? Is there any public comment on matters not on the agenda? Oh, excuse me. Two.
Hi, Debbie Miller with the Chamber. It's really the prior subject. We've sent out twice on the micro grant. We'll send out again. We also have heard, it's difficult, but more what we have heard is from businesses outside of the DDA boundary. I probably had 10 inquiries from those businesses. And of course, they're not in the boundary. So we will continue to push, but and we'll do anything we can. If we can send them here, to City Hall or whatever, we'll do that as well to get that done.
Thank you, Debbie. Did anybody say what was difficult, Deb? Do you have any specifics?
It's much like you, John. They're not computer savvy, and they think they have to fill it out online,
Well-
and then trying to show them or walk them through how to print it out so that they can fill it out. So it's those types of things. So if we can send them in here, we'll do that.
Yeah, okay, thanks. And we were told a couple of times that it needed to be done online. So that was the confusion, I think.
Sure.
But I think that the city has come up with a fix and a help for that.
Absolutely.
Great.
Great.
Should there be any discussion about extension of the deadline, or is that ship sailed?
I don't think so. We need to get them going because the season's short up here. Is there a reason? Aaron, do you see a reason to extend the deadline?
I think in prior discussions, you all had said we would look at that May 1st meeting and see, how many did we receive? And then if we need to extend it, then you can, of course, but
Okay.
yeah.
I just think initially there was a discussion of a later offering, maybe, reissue it later in the summer if we don't get enough applicants. And that's something we can revisit
Oh, yeah.
later, I think.
I did wonder about that too, but yeah.
Yeah, and you all had said that if there was still funding available, you may open it up a second time, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Because maybe people get motivated by the first round and be like, oh, we missed that. Maybe we can, something like that.
I never thought there would be a difficulty handing out money. This is really interesting.
Yeah. Mark, did you have something on that?
Just a quick comment. It's something that you mentioned to me the other day. You have a great idea about flowers that you're going to put in front of your business. You're going to do these big,
Like they do in Vale and Aspen and
Mhm.
Breck. Yeah.
is there any possibility that the DDA can promote that or suggest that to the downtown businesses? Or is
We've done
there
it before.
Any other way to encourage people to do something like that?
I've got 2 other business owners that I know on board to get some for their buildings, but other than that, it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That's the
is it?
problem. And it takes daily dedication. Like I literally have to come up every day to water them.
Okay. Okay.
High maintenance.
I thought that was a good idea though.
It is a good idea. And on that, Mark, the city, and I don't know, I'm not committing the city to anything, but I've talked to a few of the people in the city and they are actually looking at starting some greenhouses this year.
Oh.
And getting some plants going for the different, they're looking for volunteers for different sections of little flower gardens, right?
Yep.
Problem with the volunteers is they might get there and they might plant them, but then they don't do any follow-up.
Oh.
So then they die.
Yep.
But I do know that the city is, if I remember the conversation correctly, they're looking at 2 different spots for 2 different greenhouses. And they're gonna start doing their own planting.
Very cool.
And I've also got a lady that is interested in working with the city to come on board. She's is the right word, a horticulturist.
Oh, yeah.
And she is used to the high altitude. She lives in Divide. And she's willing to help and work with the city to try to, so that we can get our plants up and going and living. It's a different animal at this altitude.
Yep.
So anyway, the city is working on it and recognizes that we'd like to see more flowers around the city.
Okay.
So it may not happen all this year,
Yep.
but I would say the way that it's going, I feel like in the next couple of years, it's gonna look a lot different that way.
You know,
But you have
initially-
connections to get where to get flowers.
Yes.
If somebody wants to do it, what it costs, what it's.
Too late
entailed.
now to get them because she's already started them
Got
and
it.
then we get them at the end of May. I reached out to Alma.
Yep.
And they have too many commitments already and they weren't taking anybody else. And so I found somebody in Colorado Springs that is willing to work with us and recognizing our high altitude here in Woodland Park. And so that's the route that we're going.
Okay.
And yes, they are willing to take on more.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, Jerry.
Well, it's not just the altitude we got to deal with. It's called deer. You know, they tend to.
Right, you gotta have them elevated, don't you?
Yeah, but I've had them elevated before. A bigger deer come along than I anticipated. So, so we do have to worry about that. And the DDA has, in the past contributed to, flowers, so it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
You know, and, it sure wouldn't be bad if we didn't get all of our spots filled for the mini grants, maybe taking some of that and directing it towards flower to improve the downtown.
I think we're open to a lot of different ideas of how to give some of that money back to the
Yeah.
community and help for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
And on that, somebody hit that big buck that was terrorizing our building this year. Did you remember that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, somebody got that big buck. So, and he hasn't messed with our plants, but I do know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Don't put that, I'm not, I'll get in trouble. I can just see a Carol Harvey happening already. It's not where I'm at. So, I'm not speaking for her either, so. All right, is there any public comment? Is that what we just did, correct? Yes. Good morning, Mary. Do you have anything to add to everything? Okay. Does everybody know John, just so you guys know? John right there. John and his wife are Joni's, the owners of Joni's Deli, the new owners of Joni's Deli. So that's why John is here to see how things are working. A board chair report. I was really hoping we'd have more applicants. I think we will get more. And thank you for being willing to work with the applicants as they come in. That's awesome. I was gonna ask, and I have asked a couple of, so we're kind of old and stuck in our ways up here, Ann, and I'm not sure about us not printing out the packets for the DDA meetings, but most of us are open to trying it, but a few of us do not have access to our email. Like I don't have access to it on my phone, only on my pad, which is, I can live with that. But who would they go to make sure that they have access to the emails?
Our IT department. If after the meeting, if any of you have time, I can walk you over there,
Okay,
get you in connection. Yeah.
is that something you guys are willing to do?
Okay.
Okay, okay, that takes care of that. Thank you. I did discuss the greenhouse idea, which I'm super excited about. Anita is not here, so she won't, but somebody will be doing the minutes from this, correct?
Correct.
Okay. As far as the open DDA position, we decided that we would wait until June because the person that would be filling the seat would be up in June anyway. So there's no reason to have somebody sitting here we didn't feel like for just a couple of months. So we decided to wait until June for the, to receive applicants or to look at the applicants. We're open for applicants now. Is that okay with you guys? And then the Bergstrom Park study, we talked about that. I'm gonna be I don't want to be pushy, but it could take a long time. Am I right? It could take a long time. As studies go and Woodland Park goes, it just seems to me that it could take a long time. How are we gonna try to push that and keep that going?
Consensus building will be everything. So, as the groups collaborate and work together, that's going to be crucial in us being able to move forward at a little more quickly, right?
Okay. And then I want you guys to be open to the fact that, in line of trying to give back money to the community from the TIF money that we take, I want to make sure that we're open to the idea of possibly helping with some of the Bergstrom Park, some of the things that Tava might be facing or Bergstrom Park might be facing. Are we, just put it on your radar that they may be asking us to help. And I think that we need to at least listen to them and possibly be willing to help.
There's one concern I have, okay? Because Bergstrom Park is a public entity. And right now, it as a bathroom stop, it's very important to me as a business person.
Right.
That I have somewhere to send people. And it's always been set up that way. I'm very concerned that it would be more redone to accommodate the Tava House or property owners surrounding it. It's really, as long as we keep the public in mind, that's its function. And that's
I don't believe I have anything else. I would ask for a treasurer report, but our treasurer decided not to join us this morning. I don't think there's anything for him to report on anyway.
We are currently reviewing that TIF agreement for AJ's Pizza, so it should be on the next meeting's agenda.
Thank you, Aaron. Oh, it was asked, is there a number that we are thinking so that they can at least have that on their radar for the TIF?
Just looking to give them an update. If you're not ready yet, then I can just.
Yeah, I can't give specifics at this
Okay.
moment.
It does. I think what I just need to tell them is it's with the attorneys now and should be resolved next meeting.
Does anybody have anything for the board member reports?
Morn doesn't have anything additional.
I'm good.
Thanks. I don't have anything additional. Do you have anything?
I do not.
All right. There's no DDA attorney report. I've asked that he not be here today.
Born moves to adjourn.
Second. We're done. Thank you, everybody.